Where it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday night. I know this is like totally out of the norm, and everybody's like, what the heck is going on? But hello to everybody. I hope that you guys are enjoying your weekend wherever you are. And I think this will actually be kind of interesting to see what other faces show up in the live chat, because we're in a different time, and maybe some of the people who are normally sleeping actually get to show up for a live. So that'll be fun. Also, so I had forgotten that my husband was leaving to go out of town on Wednesday. Oops. And so I was single mom for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it made it was kind of rough. With all the sports and all the things, and then the roofing people being here during the day was just a nightmare. So thank you guys for your patience with me, and I'm finally back to do part 2, which I planned on doing Wednesday and never ever got a chance to do. So I was like, you know what? He's home now, kids are taken care of, dinner served. Let's just go hang out on YouTube and talk some Delphi, because gosh only knows what Monday holds for us, and we don't have the time to get behind. So let me say hi to everybody in chat, and then we'll get to it. Hi, Ramblin' Rome. What's up, Gretel? Hi, Teresa. Hi, Angel Ray. Hi, Missing Unsolved. Sweet dude. Hi, Music. Sees Through. Hi, Gambies. Hi, Starlight. What's up, Frank? Hi, Rebecca. Unsolved Christeries. Unsolved Christeries. Is that right? Is that how you say that? Hi, Wolf Wisdom. What's up, woman doing impossible things? Cat Fool. Hi, Dean. What's up? Did I ever say hi to you? Hi, KO. Odd Structure. Hi, Laura. Unindicted. I don't know if I said hi to you or if I was talking to you in chat. Hi, Christy. Hi, Mila's mom. Hi, Queen Elizabeth. I know, a Saturday live, and I'm throwing everything off. Throwing it all off. What's up, Tony? I'll show her. Hi, Joni. Hi, Sleuthy. Hi, Malicious Intent. I know. It's like, it's my bedtime. It's Saturday. Do you really have a bedtime? No, you don't. It's okay. You can stay up for just a little bit. Hi, VJBC. What's up, Sees Through? Hi, Travis. Hi, KT. Ava. Kaleida Hope. Snappy Dragon. Boss Lady. What's up, Kathy? Hey, Shaz. Just Deb. Tony. I already talked to you. Hey, T and all you cool people. Hey, Wayward. What's up, other Teresa? Hi, Linda K. I think I said hi to, I think I got everybody. I don't even know if I missed you. I apologize. Let me go back down here and see who's here. Hi, Kelt. Hi, Judy. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Chris. Monica. Yes, Christy. Got you. I got you. I get to play on the words. I'm going to try to stay awake. It's okay if you fall asleep. I'll forgive you. And my body says, I've got to go to bed. Hi, Veronica. Amy. Hey, Scott. I'm only here to check on your husband. I wrote you back in chat and said I let him out of the dryer. So the running joke was because when the roofers were here last week, so anybody who wasn't listening to my lives on Monday and Tuesday, Steve from True Crime Web came in and said that it sounded like I had a body in the dryer. And then they all thought it might be my husband. So I'm like, I let him out. I let him out of the dryer. He's good. What's up, Future? Now you have to do housework? Oh, goodness. Don't do that. Hi, Amy. Okay. I think I said hi to everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. Hello to everybody, and welcome to Criminality. Welcome back to Criminality. Welcome if it's your first time being here. Make sure you guys hit the like button or the dislike button. For whatever reason, my Delphi videos get the most dislikes out of any video I ever cover. I mean, it's not very many, but I do find it ironic. What's up, Deets? Not feeling the best, but I'll be listening. Been waiting so patiently for this. Aww. What's up, artsy fartsy? Yeah, my husband, Steve. Yeah, I let him out of the dryer. So, one sec. I know a lot of this has been covered on a lot of channels, and I've been trying to keep up with everybody's lives. I am behind on some channels, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to keep up. But we're going to go through the rest of what happened on Monday. I'm going to show you guys some clips, and we're going to talk about some people and just some things in general. But first, so anybody who was following or is following the Madeline Soto case, I was watching the press conference the other day. I'm not going too far into the Madeline Soto case, so just bear with me for a minute, because I was watching it on WFLA. If you guys aren't familiar, that's the one that JB Buno is on. And I really like that guy, so I try to watch him and what he does pretty consistently. But they had this press conference the other day, and it was kind of like a big nothing burger. And so after the press conference, they were all in the chat on WFLA and talking about, shoot, did I put a sound on that? I swear I better. I'm going to do it again just in case. And somebody in his comment section commented about like why they believed that the press conference was kind of a nothing burger. So I time-stamped it, because I'm like, people in Delphi are going to appreciate this. They're going to appreciate this this bit of his live stream. What's up, Sniper? Yeah, the nothing presser. Hi, Hybrid. A funny thing, the cat was on my husband's nerves. He said, I'm going to put her in the dryer. He would never. He was totally joking. He loves the cat more than life. See, well, I mean, shoot, I'm over here joking about putting my husband in one, so I guess somebody will clip that and be like, Tracy put her husband in the dryer and she's abusive and blah, blah, blah. Thank you for joining, Laura. Welcome. We were trying to decide on a name for the members. I don't know what we ended up with yet, but welcome and thank you. Hi, Schmeed. Hi, Southern Sweet Tea. I have the metadata. Oh, Digital's here. I didn't see you, Digital. Hello. Just got home from an overstimulated trampoline park with kids, ready to chill. Yeah, kids, go to bed. You're tired now. Leonard Amber, 3 months. What's up? Thank you, chat, for 3 months of gifted memberships. 3 months? Seriously? That's pretty badass. Hi, Ashley. What's up, Boston Christian? Cray. Oh, CJ sent you? That was very nice of him. I was popped into his live earlier, but I was just listening while I was cooking dinner for everybody. I love to care. What's up, Robin? Hi, Psyche. Is JB a YouTuber or affiliated with a news station? So he is affiliated with WFLA. So he is a journalist, but they've really kind of gone towards embracing like the social media side of the news. And so he actually streams on a YouTube channel, WFLA, and covers like true crime cases, essentially. So I actually had found him back during the Gabby Petito case. And I mean, he covers crimes from all over the country, but he is stationed, it's WFLA, it's stationed in, it's out of Florida. But I just like his, I just like his demeanor, and I like his reactions. Tea on a Saturday night? On a Saturday night? Yeah, I like JB. What's up, Fiend? Well, thank you, CJ. They said you sent them on over here. I appreciate that. I was listening to your live earlier when I was cooking dinner, so I appreciate you coming on over and sending your peeps over too. But anyway, so like I said, I found this very interesting because, like I said, the press conference was kind of a nothing burger. So we don't have to go into all of that. But what happens after the press conference when he's like, "What the heck was that about? Like, why do we call it a press conference?" I think people in Delphi will appreciate what he has to say. So I'm going to play it for you guys.
Who's in the arrest warrant, but she said they don't believe there were other victims, so we can deduce that it was Maddie. That's yes, and that's so that's again like connecting dots. That's what we are led to believe without it being definitively stated at this press conference. So Samantha from New Jersey. Hey JB, I just joined. Would you mind repeating what's going on? I'd be happy to. the Kissimmee Police Department called a press conference, where there was an update anticipated.
Okay, hold on. I gotta say hi to Mez because I just saw that Mez is in here. Hi, Mez. What's up, Mother of Dragons? And thank you to Lead with Love for for gifting 10 criminality memberships. That's pretty damn awesome. I swear I gotta get back to doing my membership stuff. And Jen, look at you, just dropping another 5. Welcome to all of you guys who just got memberships. Thank you guys so much for doing that. When does DC get up in this press conference to do some riddles? DB Cooper, not DB Cooper. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You must have watched this.
In the Madeline Soto investigation, and there wasn't much of an update. Waiting on the medical examiner's report. Everyone is still a suspect. No new charges have been filed. No one has been ruled out as a suspect. Just a lot of general confusion in our chat over what could have been handled in a tweet or a press release.
Should be coming up right here.
Right. So Rhonda, do you think that they use the press conference to make people that may be involved nervous or to bring people forward? I do think that there are tactics in other cases where a press conference can have a deliberate purpose, where investigators say, hey, look, in addition to getting out the latest information, this can be used, a press conference can be used to our advantage. But in this particular case, I didn't see anything that would lead us to believe that there was a secondary purpose to this other than releasing, information. And even though that information was scarce, I didn't see anything of the sort, Rhonda. That's just from me.
So anyone that just joined, what I wanted to show you guys was him talking to his chat about how he doesn't think that press conferences will do things, or police officers will do things to hold a press conference that really actually has no substance in order to garner information from the public. And I was like, really, JB? I think that I'm going to send JB a couple of press conferences
that we have to have an effort to.
So
and put forth an effort to comprehend.
Hold on.
Not
I'll play it one more time
something new that we have learned.
Yeah, a tactic. But he just is in shock. Like, no, they would not do anything like that. Like, they wouldn't do that.
Jessica says, could they be doing it and saying things we just don't understand? Reading in between the lines? Like, was there more to this that we're supposed to read the tea leaves and understand more as to what investigators are hinting at? That's not really something that law enforcement. They're very direct.
You guys can't hear him? If you guys can't hear him, you need to tell me that you can't hear him. Anybody that can't hear? Because it seems like everybody could hear. I thought they could, otherwise I would have stopped it. You can hear fine? Okay. Okay, you heard tea leaves, yeah. So it's just funny because he's like, what do they expect us to read the tea leaves? And I was like, oh, JB, you've got to go back and watch the Delphi pressers, because yes, that is exactly what they want us to do. His volume is really low. So anyway, like I said, it wasn't to go too far into the Madeline Soto case. It was just I heard it and I immediately thought, yeah, they do that. They do that.
To the point, it's not for them. It's about delivering results, not delivering, puzzles for us to solve in the form of press conferences with language that we can't, that we have to have an effort to. And put forth an effort to comprehend.
So if you didn't hear, he says, I don't think that they're trying to put out puzzles for us to solve, or trying to make it hard for us to comprehend. So I'll drop it if you guys want to go hear it. Like I said, I just wanted to play it for you guys because I was like, wait a minute. And even his face, he's like, why would you, to this Jessica, why would you even think that? because that is what they did. I don't know if they did it here, but it was a let's think, like a let's think moment. Yeah, no, he's not getting it at all. But anyway, so I wanted to show you guys that because I just was like, yeah, JP, you need to watch some Delphi. So anyway, let's go back to Sleuthy Goosey has done a fantastic, beautiful job, as she always does, of compiling everything that she can about the hearing on Monday. And she was working on it while we were live on, I think it was on Tuesday. So anybody who has sent me their notes, I literally I was like, is it okay to give them to Sleuthy? I forwarded them to her, and she's made essentially like a compilation of all the lives, all the notes, everything that we could essentially put together from almost anybody I think that was there. So this should help us in putting some of the pieces together. So she puts a whole list of like all the cast of characters. Hi to everybody who's just popped in that I didn't get a chance to say hi to personally. Thank you guys for being here. So it's got like every single person that's mentioned and who they all are. And Sleuthy, I don't know, have you put this out like on your Twitter? I am so not good with Twitter. I don't know if she's already put it out or not. Right. Exactly. That's a great disclaimer. So I don't know if this is like public somewhere yet, or if this is like just, I don't know what she's done with it yet. Hi, allegedly innocent. Welcome. So obviously, I was not at the hearing on Monday. Sleuthy Goosey was not at the hearing on Monday. We are hearing from multiple different people, some things that are identical and some things that are definitely taken in by the perspective of the listener. So I've listened to people that are very pro-defense. I've listened to people that are very pro-prosecution. I've listened to people that were in the middle that were there. Some things stay pretty consistent, and some things are kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what the truth underneath it is. I do know that the transcript for the motion to dismiss has been requested, so we can get the actual verbatim what was said in the courtroom down. And you guys are going to understand why that's important here coming up. But like I said, I wanted to show you, she's changed some of the things since we last looked at it. So like this was the contempt hearing. And then I'm not going back through all of this because we already did this one. We did this one the other day. So we're heading to the other one. But I just wanted to show you guys, like, I mean, just the massive amount of organization and everything, like just compiling the notes from every single person that we possibly could listen to, find anybody who was there that was willing to share. And this is kind of where it's at. So Sleuthy Goosey made this based on everybody's notes. So everybody who was there and was willing to share or go live and talk about it, we thank you for contributing to this. And thank you, Sleuthy, for putting it together in such a beautiful way to make it easy for us to read. Okay, so what we're going to actually start with today, because we already went over the motion for the contempt hearing, we really hit most of the things on that. That had a lot to do with the gag order and when the date of the gag order was, which was pretty much established in the courtroom that the gag order was not in place when the press release was put out by the defense team. I think that was pretty much cleared up and seemed to be dropped. The next one was the quote-unquote email leak that was from Baldwin, who was supposed to be sending it to Brad, accidentally sent it to Brandon with the BRA. What they really established with that was that Rector, who actually saw the email, said that it was addressed to Brad. Like, hey, Brad, check this out. So it was proven that it was not meant to go to Brandon Woodhouse. It was actually meant to go to Brad, taking away the elements of that leak that the state wants to prove was against Andrew Baldwin. I'll go back over the questions and answers about the email. You want me to go back over that? I can do that. I think it's the Rector one here. Because this is, and like I said, she's added to this, so this is even more in depth now. Hi, Unraveling. She's added more to this since she very first started. No, not that one. Oh, all the answers. Yeah. So Rector was the one who was assigned to had a conversation with Woodhouse and gave his findings to Holman. You guys see this okay? So we're back on the contempt for just a hot moment. Obtained on October 9th, 2023, a screenshot from Westerman's device of Westerman saying he went to Baldwin's office. I think it's on the redirect. This is not on this one, though, is it? Oh, it's Mullins. Okay, it's Mullins. Hold on, let me go back to it. Mullins' testimony. Okay. This one right here. Okay. So did you see the email supposedly sent by Baldwin? Answer, no. Never even saw the email that was sent from Baldwin to Woodhouse. Did you ever see the thumb drive, like that thumb drive, quote unquote, that thumb drive map? Answer, no. Did you see the witness list, including the juveniles? Because that was their big thing, was that the juveniles' names were leaked to the public before they were known. I will 100% promise you that is not true. I have known those girls' names for quite a few years. That is not something that was leaked to the public via that. It was anybody who's in Facebook groups probably knew those girls' names. Did you see the email addressed to Brandon Woodhouse? No. Did you? So you have no proof of this said email Baldwin to Woodhouse? No proof of it. Mullen is the one who's in charge of that investigation. There's a problem. After you got the info, did you report it to McClelland? Yes. Well, what info? Because he didn't get anything. Nick told him to document it. Do you have any info that the email was meant for Woodhouse? No, I don't. What was the date of the email? No idea. No idea when it was even sent, which I thought maybe we'd get some clarity on here because it was either sent in December or it was sent in March, which we still don't really have a lot of clarity on. And I thought Rector was the one who came forward and actually had the answers to those questions. Maybe I'm misremembering it. I thought he was the one who said that he actually saw that he's the one. Isn't Rector the one who said that he saw the name Brad? I'm almost positive that was Rector who said that he's the one who actually read it and he's the one who paid attention to the email. Mr. Mullen, do you know where you are today? No. So anybody who gets confused on who these people are, one, like I said, she wrote a cast of characters, which is amazing because I think it does help with anybody who is unaware of who everybody is. But for anybody who doesn't know, Mullen was the Delphi chief of police at the time that the crimes happened. He ended up retiring from there and he became an investigator for the prosecutor's office. So in saying that, he was the chief of police when the DVR fiasco with all the interviews happened. He's also the one who supposedly figured out that it happened in September of 2017. And now Mullen is the one that is in charge of taking all the discovery, the evidence in discovery from the state and giving it to the defense team. Thinking, I don't know if he's the person I want responsible for any type of evidence, but that's just me. Right. They said like, yeah, Brad, hey, look at this. Like, look at what this is. So anyway, okay. So contempt. The biggest takeaway before we go into the dismiss that I will talk about is the whole photo thing. I think that there are some people who are currently thinking, I'm gonna cough, hold on, that there's two separate leaks happening, like one from the state and one from the defense, because of this whole circle, square, so on and so forth. I just want to clarify that there was a rectangle over the top part. There was a circle over the bottom part. As they were passed around, somebody decided they were going to share them, but wanted to make sure the person they were sharing them with wasn't going to further share them. So they added a square on top of the circle. Well, of course, that next person did end up sharing it, and so on and so forth, because now, like I said, that one is also out there. So it is the same photograph, just with a different shape, but the square is on top of the circle. And I hope that makes sense. There is not a separate set that was released by the state. And don't get me wrong, if I thought there was, I would be happy to tell you, but it's not like that. the square was put over it for the purpose of tracking if that person shared it, if that makes sense. So we know that, well, they didn't even really prove that. Let's just go. They know that Fortson sent it to, well, an account that was used by Fortson, because I'm not even sure that it was ever even proven to be his account, even though I do believe it was. That Fortson's account, or an account that potentially belonged to Fortson, sent one set to Kyra and sent one set to, same pictures, and sent one set to Mark Cohen. And then each of those people shared it with one other person, and then it went from there. Now, in the spreading of that, that's when somebody else got a hold of it and changed it. How did I find this out? So I have both sets, so I'm going to make sure that I let you guys know. I think I've told everybody that already. I have both sets of photos, and when you overlay them, you can tell that the circle is, you can tell that the square is over the circle, that it was changed later. I obviously cannot show that to you. So, I mean, I don't know. You don't have to take my word for it. You can completely think whatever you choose to think when you walk away from here, because you guys know how I am about being able to prove myself. But that's not something I can prove. It's just something I can tell you that I did that, and the square is over the circle. So that's the only thing I can give you. Like I said, you can walk away and think whatever you want to think at the end of that, and I ain't going to be mad at you, and you do whatever you got to do, because I can't prove it, and I'm not going to. So I just wanted to put that out there. I think they used Reddit or Facebook in the messenger for original photo from Fortson to Cohen. Didn't do it with this though, but I have done it in the past. Yeah. The leak was already leaked. Now that's a different conversation, because I am of the belief that there is either a completely different set of photos, or that these photos may have been out there for a while. But only thing I can tell you is that the photos I have, that somebody added the square on top of the circle. Now, does that mean that there's not whole bunches of other sets of photos out there? I don't know, because you guys also know that I am of the belief that there was another set that was already out, that other YouTubers and podcasters were discussing on social media back in January of 2023, and cannot be confused with the clothing pictures, because the word bodies is actually used. That photos of the bodies were supposedly going to be released in February of 2023. Now, I have never been able to figure out yet. I've never been able to figure out yet if those are the same photos or not the same photos. Now, that's why I said you can take it for what you want. I'm doing my best to try to just piece it together, and as I do, I share it with you guys. Is anybody saying they saw a circle? There was a circle. The bottom was top was a rectangle, bottom was a circle. Now, my bigger question on this whole thing is, would the defense have censored crime scene photos to show the very investigators who investigated the crime scene? Why would they censor those? That is what's kind of bugging me. So did they get censored once they were being started to be passed around, like from Mitch or Fortson? Or did the defense actually do it? Because, and we're going to talk about this too, because there seems to be this board that had 5 photos on it, is what I'm understanding. And if anybody was there that knows any different, let me know. This board that had 5 photos on it, or not even a board, but like a stapled together or whatever. They have to be censored when they're filed as exhibits, but they weren't yet, right? They weren't filed as exhibits anywhere yet. Because it was August. If they're doing these depositions, would they have to be exhibits in the deposition? That would be a question, I guess. Would they be considered an exhibit during a deposition? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that out. Where was I? Shit. I lost my train of thought. Okay, let me just answer a couple questions and maybe it'll come back to me. How many in those two sets? One has 4, one has 2, but the 2 are the same 2 as part of the 4. I hope that makes sense. It's not 2 separate pictures. I got a set of 4 and I got a set of 2. And see that, yeah, libertarian, I don't know. Those are great questions. Like, why would it, well, according to the testimony, they were given, you know, they said they hadn't done anything. They were given them blank, essentially. Yeah, but there was no Frank's memo yet, because that wasn't until September. I'm assuming they were working on it, but I don't know. That was my question. So take that for you, take it or leave it. I just was wondering, how about a flow chart on the leak? I have a flow chart on the leak, actually. There's just some names on there that I don't necessarily know if I want to put out in the public without actually having the proof that they were part of this process. So I could put it out with some blanks, maybe. Oh, the 5. So I don't know if I shouldn't say on a board, but like I'm saying, like as like here's the 5 photos. Which ones, you know, which ones were used at the deposition? And I think Holman says like one of them was not. Let me go if I can see if I can find that really quick before we get to the dismiss part, because I don't want to stay on this. I don't want to stay on this all night, because like I said, we've really already kind of talked about it. So I just wanted to fill you in on the things that I've learned since. He says the pics were something the defense created. Murder sheet given to Holman. Holman objects because Fortune is deceased, or Hennessy objects. Pics were of the girls in the crime scene. ISP uses rectangles to censor and circles, so they knew that the defense had created. Holman got murder sheets. Rixnay was interviewed, then Kyra. Bob Fortson dad, we knew that. Did you report on the leaks? Yes. Can you tell us about that? It's a lot. So there's no evidence that Baldwin and Rosie allowed this to be shared. No, that's another huge takeaway, is there's no evidence that Baldwin and Rosie allowed this to be shared. Asking what, you know, you wanted to charge Baldwin. He's like, yes. We figured out that wasn't viable. Yeah. Figured out I couldn't charge him. They don't even know how many photos were actually leaked. Okay, so there's something that should be right here, and it is one of the questions. Let me see if I can find it in like my handwritten notes here. But there's one of the questions that they ask him, like, were all these photos, these 5 photos, were they part of what you were shown at your depositions? And I believe he says that one of them was not. So somebody who was there that's in chat, sorry, because I wasn't watching chat. Is Truth and Transparency here? She was there. Gambies was here earlier. I know that. 3 and 4 never saw, according to Rosie. Okay, but what did and hi Lana, what did Holman say? How many pictures did Holman say were part of the deposition? We don't know that. And we're hoping that, yeah, this is why I want the contempt hearing transcript too, but we'll see. Hopefully it comes out as well, because I think that's going to be some of the words, you know, and they also, everybody who was there says it was very hard to hear. So I think that's going to be another issue on like the difference of like some of what people interpreted. Okay, let me see if Lana answered. Because I want to, Holman, I remember Holman said that there was at least one he hadn't seen. He did. Okay. He said he saw all of those at the deposition. And then when Rosie testified, he said that 2 of those photos he had never seen. Right here. Said the side-by-side crime scene photo looked familiar to him, but he is not sure if they are defense work product or not. Down. Not there. The side-by-side. Because Rosie said he had never seen 2 of the 5, which was exhibit 3 and 4. But number 4 seems to be the confusion on all the people who were there. Nobody seems to know exactly. Then that wasn't in the notes. I believe you, Sleuthie. I do. So 3 and 4 wasn't in the, is what Rosie said he never saw of these 5 pictures. But number 4, I thought it was 2 and 3. Fiend, don't you start. Are you serious? Holman said, yes, Holman said all. Okay, thank you, Gambies. Rosie said he hadn't seen 3 or 4. Okay, Fiend. I don't know. Gambies is agreeing with me. So 3 was supposedly the side-by-side. And then was 4 the drawing? Because some people think it was potentially a picture of one of the girls with the circle. And I cannot figure that out. Same flow, Southern Sweet Tea. Same flow of people. It was from Fortson to Mark Cohen, and Mark Cohen decided to put it on Facebook. I know. This is why I'm like, I need the contempt one too, Sleuthy. So anyway, so I cannot tell if it's the drawing and the 2 being the 3rd and 4th picture, which is the handwritten pic, and the Libby blackout circle ones. Okay. So the drawing pic, which I do believe was probably not. I think it's a drawing that came later. We need our own court. I know. We should fund that for trial. We should get our own transcript person. It's just so much. Well, and like I said, they said it was very hard of hearing in there. For the defense, so they can get their expert because she's not getting away with their antics. We don't know exactly what happened with that. We don't know if they need to request something in particular, or they need to do it a different way. Because the way they wrote it, it seems like the way that it was requested was not what they were wanting. I put money on my answer. We have Rosie's answer in quotes. Lana, are you going to go to the trial? And if so, are you going to go every day and take these types of notes? Gambies, Bean, anybody? Any takers? That witch mumbles unless she is insulting someone, then she screeches. When she's yelling at everybody to shut it down. And then Hennessy doubled down and said, we will let the record speak for Holman's lying ass. And Bob Mata, yeah, okay. So I'm going to try to be there for at least some of the trial. Gambies, it's like, I've been practicing on how to write faster. Can you have a typewriter? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. They probably have to request it. Since no cameras, why not a daily transcript? Why not daily audio? Like, I'm hoping that somebody puts that request in, like how we had to listen at night. Like, we had to pay the court, and they send us the audio of Lori Vallow Daybell's trial. There's not that many seats there. I don't know how she's going to pull that off. I don't know what she's going to do. You have to have a good shorthand. Somebody wear a wire. Somebody wear a wire in there. You get caught and then you're in contempt. He's going to go to trial, yes. The click, click, click of an old school typewriter is all beep, 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 beep. As they should, but she's going to deny it. She's not gonna let cameras in the courtroom. At least give us the damn audio. I'm working on something, but it may take a minute. I need assistance from someone to get the fun going. Ooh, about having somebody in there. I don't even know if she would allow it. Can I disguise a tampon as a mic? They'll never check it. They'll be like, oh, just let her go. It's just a tampon. We don't want anything to do with it. Make sure you go through the line with the male bailiffs. Well, I mean, just think of like this is one hearing. This is one hearing. Yeah, she already denied him. She denied the camera, but I'm thinking just the audio. Just to let us have the audio at the end of the day, like they did with Lori Vallow. Oh, fun for the defense experts. I don't know how you do that, because I know that there's like crowdsourcing type apps that don't allow anything for the defense of anybody like that. We get to watch Chad Daybell. I know. They actually are letting cameras in the courtroom. If someone says it's for Richard Allen's documentary, I believe that's a new way in, just saying. It would be better than nothing. I agree. Or even if she did it and it's not like released later, I don't know how many of you guys followed the West trial from, the West Boys trial from California. They had only live audio, and you could not record it, but you could listen to it live. So like anybody and everybody could join this room and you could hear the audio. I mean, at this point, like, even if we don't get cameras, like, can we at least get some damn audio? Everyone was saying it was hard to hear. So would audio also be? No, because the audio apparently was because of they were in the Allen County Courthouse, which is apparently very beautiful, but it has extremely large, like tall ceilings. So it made like the echo kind of weird. Who's going to wear the Google glasses? I feel like I should get like Suzanne Morphew's spy pen. The Honorable Judge Gull is not against cameras just in court. She uses them to threaten defense attorneys, allegedly speaking. Right. So somebody told me that because it's a trial about adolescents or minors, that she's not going to allow it. But then I was like, but she did allow it for that one hearing. Maybe because they weren't going to be talking about evidence. I don't know. I'm hoping that something comes of it. I'm hoping that we can figure out a way to get something. Hi, Bob. The acoustics sucked, and the witness nor the attorneys would use the mics. Oh, geez. Lots of ear cupping. Yeah, you put the old people in there trying to listen in the galley. Bob, you should have asked when Judge Gull offered like the hearing device for Hennessy. You should have raised your hand and been like, "I'll take it. Let me have it." You get caught with any type of spy pen or anything like that, she'd end up holding you in contempt. Okay, so let's get to the motion to dismiss. This one has there's so much to it. I'm going to try my best. I'll be there for trial. We have a new way to take notes, which is Bella writes the questions, I write the answer to make it like a transcript. We're going to try it. I thought you did a great job, Lana, of taking notes. So I know that your hand hurt really bad, but I thought you did a good job. My poor coworker has been sucked into Delphi by me over the past few weeks. I feel like I should pay for his therapy. Poor guy. Hi, Gamby's coworker. Yeah, the next hearing is going to be in Delphi. Well, I mean, it should be. We should have some more hearings, but she hasn't actually put anything on her schedule yet to have any hearings besides the actual trial, which we know that jury selection will still take place in Allen County. And then they will be, once the jury is picked, then they'll go to Carroll County Courthouse for the actual trial to commence. Give, Send, Go will allow that kind of fundraiser. Oh, okay. Zachariah Anderson, if you guys aren't familiar with that case, I did an interview with his brother, and I absolutely think that he was railroaded. But that's a side story. Anyway, I hope they have good daily coverage. Yeah. A diversion in the courtroom added with a nicely planted bug would work. You're like, special delivery, flowers for Judge Gull. Okay, so let's get into the motion to dismiss. So this is as important as I believe that the contempt motion is for getting clarity on how everything transpired when it comes to the leaks. This is the most important thing that actually happened on Monday that has to do with the trial. And I've tried to set everything into very different compartments when it comes to this case. When we have the actual trial of Richard Allen, we have the leak situation, and we had everything going on with the attorneys. Well, the leak and the attorneys have kind of collided, and we saw that in the contempt hearing. And then now we're back to focusing on the actual trial. So the defense team had put in the motion to dismiss based on the fact that evidence was destroyed. As we were talking about earlier in the live, that the evidence, the videos were destroyed from February 13th, 14th till February 20th of 2017. Any interview that took place in the Delphi Police Department where the police chief Mullen was in charge, anything that took place there, those were erased. These are not Lana's notes. These are compiled notes. I know that some of this comes from Lana stuff. It's literally these notes. Anybody who's just joining, these notes are a compilation of anybody that we've listened to or has willingly sent us their notes from being in the courtroom on Monday. And I forwarded anybody who sent them to me. I forwarded them to Sleuthy, and she compiled everything and put it on this beautiful, much more clear way to read through everything. So like I said, it may not have everything, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy because we were not in the courtroom. So you have to take it for that. The motion to dismiss transcript has been ordered and will be coming. So we will get clarity on exactly what was said there. And hopefully we can get the contempt one too. So this more has to do with the motion to dismiss. So they requested the motion to dismiss, to literally dismiss the whole trial because they essentially destroyed evidence. And then you have the state who's saying, yeah, but those aren't even important. They're just not important. Those interviews, who cares about them? Those are not important interviews. They're not exculpatory in nature. Don't worry about it. Well, nobody can, my opinion, and this is my opinion, is Nick doesn't have the right to say whether they're exculpatory or not because, one, he's never even heard them because he wasn't even the prosecutor on the case from the time that the recordings happened until the time that they figured out the recordings were gone. Hold on. Yeah, I won't be reading the contempt hearing transcript. That's okay. That's what I'm here for, Bob. Couldn't pay. You don't even have to pay me. I'll read it for free, Bob. Because I think that there's some questions, but Bob's like, I don't even know anything about this, that, or the other. And I'm like, in his Delphi chat. I'm like, that's because it doesn't have to do with the law. If it had to do with the law, you'd know about it. That's okay, because that's what the other ones of us are here for. We'll figure out the other shit, and then we'll just fill you in once we have it under control. So we're going to go through the notes. Here we go. All right. Let me see if there's any questions. Is it true that Baldwin and Rosie are not being paid, and why? According to the motions filed, Rosie is not being paid and has not been paid since approximately October of last year. So does exclusion from the Allen County Courthouse include the Carroll County Courthouse? Are we talking about the YouTubers or no? Todd Click is about to free Richard Allen. Well, I think for anybody who doesn't take it seriously, I'd beg them to go back and find how many cases or how many trials that law enforcement officers who were investigating the crime testify on behalf of the defense, saying they believe somebody else is responsible. And this guy didn't just come out of the woodwork. He didn't just show up. He put in the time. He was working with Ferenczi and Murphy investigating this. He tries to get a hold of Holman. Holman essentially ignores him most of the time. Like I said, we'll go through it, but it's bewildering to me that anybody just says that what Click, Ferenczi, Murphy did is just irrelevant and doesn't matter. Because if that was true, let's just say it was true. Let's say that those people out there that believe that, let's say it was true. Why, when Click went in and said, hey, here's all my evidence that I have that shows that Richard Allen isn't the guy, didn't they counter with, hey, investigator Click, why, here's everything we have that shows Richard Allen is the guy. I mean, he was law enforcement, so they could have easily included him in what was happening. They could have told him. They could have shown him, and then we wouldn't even be here right now. This wouldn't even be happening, because then Click wouldn't have been, hey, over here, there's something shady going on because these guys aren't being honest. I've tried to give them evidence. I've tried to show them what we did. We asked for search warrants that they didn't follow up on. We've given them testimony or interviews and interrogations of potential suspects that they don't follow up on. If they were so satisfied, if the Unified Command was so satisfied with their investigation, it should have been really easy to shut down this person like Click. When you bring that up to people who are very pro-prosecution, their answer is that these guys aren't even relevant, and Click wasn't even actually working on the case. So you're telling me that Click not working on the case collected all of this evidence, and yet nobody bothered to follow up on it? Why not follow up on it then? And when he was bringing forward Johnny Messer, or he's bringing forward Elvis Fields and all the connections, when he brings that to the Unified Command, why doesn't the Unified Command say, hey, this is how we cleared these people. We've already interviewed them. Here's our written, we accidentally deleted all of the interviews, but, here's our summary reports that show exactly what was happening. Here's how we ruled them out. Why would you even, as the Unified Command, allow over 2 years, I'd have to go back to my notes on how long it was. Was it 2018 to 21? It may have been 3 years. It was 2 to 3 years. A side investigation into people that you absolutely believe you've already cleared. Why wouldn't you just say the first time they bring it to you, like, hey, this is what we got? Why wouldn't you just go, no. Here you go. Here's the evidence that this is how we cleared them. Spaghetti. Hi, who dis? And if there's no hitch on getting expedited transcript, Goal will tell Jody to request payment up front from them, and Goal is going to send notice she won't approve cost of expedited transcript. I'm surprised she would approve any, since why hasn't she still hasn't even released the June transcript. Hey, Allie, cattails. We don't know what we don't know. Yeah, exactly. So we can only infer the pieces we do know. I've heard even extremely pro-prosecution folks going on and on about how incredible impressed they were with Andy and how he conducts himself in a hearing in a trial setting. Yeah, some of them were just like, no, he was pretty badass. Okay, so I'm not gonna look at chat for a second because I'm gonna go ahead and read through the notes. So the first witness Andy called was Todd Click. Echoed a lot of what was in the Franks memorandum, ended his investigation the day that Ferenczi was murdered outside the FBI office in 2021, made it clear that he was very upset with when Richard Allen was arrested. Baldwin barely touched on Brad Holder. The first 45 minutes basically centered on Elvis Fields and his comment about, if you happen to find my spit on the girls and I can explain it, I'm good, right? And this is what Elvis Fields had told to Kevin Murphy. I wonder what's going to happen with Murphy, because I wonder if he'll end up if he'll come in to testify. Female attorney kept objecting, which is the female attorney is the one who handled the motion to dismiss is Stacy Diener. I do not know if she's related to Judge Diener. She is not his wife, I can tell you that. So female attorney kept objecting based on relevance, and Baldwin's argument was he has to establish that evidence destruction was done in bad faith. Essentially, what they're trying to show is that, hey, whatever was going on with this investigation into the people like Patrick Westfall, Brad Holder, Elvis Fields, Johnny Messer, Rod Abrams, anybody who had anything to do with that part of the investigation was swept under the rug. And if they did get talked to, like Brad Holder at the beginning, of February, middle of February 2017, it got erased. So the destruction of evidence wasn't like this quote unquote accidental, override of information. Todd Click will be testifying for the defense at trial. I mean, absolutely. He thought Allen's PCA was weak and that the evidence he and his team collected would put together a much stronger case against those individuals than what they have on Richard Allen. So I also have to ask, do you think that Ferenczi, Murphy, and Click, in their approximate 3-year investigation into this crew of people, did not go to check for alibis to rule them out? You think they were just like, we don't give a shit if they have an alibi. We're just going to put them in here because we want to. You don't think that they already checked out what was going on with these people at the time? Yeah, he's ready. He does need protected now. If something happens, then we're going to have a big issue. And I do see the kind of like, he was not subpoenaed. He was willing to be there. Todd Click was like, no, there's something wrong and it needs to be addressed. That's why I would say anybody who is extremely pro-prosecution and absolute Richard Allen is guilty, find me a case where there's somebody who investigated the crime for approximately 3 years, who ended up testifying at his own free will for the defense team. Okay. He thought Allen's PCA was weak and that the evidence he and his team collected would put together a much stronger case against those individuals than what they had on Richard Allen. He was asked by Ferenczi and Murphy to find connections between Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, and Elvis Fields. He was brought into the fold by Murphy and Ferenczi because he was a Rushville cop. He found a photo on Brad Holder's Facebook. Everyone in the photo was wearing a Vinlander shirt, and Click recognized Johnny Messer standing between Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall in the photo. After Elvis Fields' sister informed Click that she had heard Elvis make comments about the crime scene before the public had info about the crime scene, Click, Ferenczi, and Murphy contacted Unified Command for a search warrant. They were not able to secure the search warrant. Click learned of a man named Josh Chrisman. He attended a MAGA rally in 2016. He is a Vinlander and friends with Mickey McGinley, who was also at the MAGA rally and an American Guard leader. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to pause here because I'm going to show you guys a couple things. And then check in with you guys. Okay, so Josh Chrisman has a big history of domestic violence. I'll just say that. He's been married and divorced from his wife multiple times. This is Josh Chrisman was cited early Sunday for depositing unwanted or solicited flyers locally. A number of individuals in the Shelby County Rush area community. The properties were littered with orange bags containing information regarding the racially biased organization known as the Ku Klux Klan, which is the KKK. So he was out spreading propaganda about the KKK and ended up arrested. Yeah, part of the KKK. Yeah, absolutely lovely, right? So he gets cited for littering. You can't make this shit up, I'm telling you. So then the KKK decides to sue the Rush County prosecutor because of this citation. It ends up getting dropped. But so the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan have dismissed their lawsuit against the Rush County prosecutor and the Rush County Sheriff's Department. It was filed by the ACLU of Indiana on behalf of the KKK in an effort to stop the prosecution of a littering ticket issued in 2011 by the Rush County Sheriff's Department. According to Cavanis, the ticket was issued by a deputy after Josh Chrisman of Morristown allegedly was throwing KKK materials in the roadway in western Rush County. So they ended up dropping. So they're going to sue. They were going to sue the sheriff's department and the prosecutor. You cannot make this shit up. So that is who Josh Chrisman is. And like I said, on my case, you can see his extreme history of domestic violence, and you know his like just his history in general. So I'm going to show you that, and then let me see if I pulled up the right article for McGinley. Because he's also in, you know, there's a couple articles about the American Guard with the Vinlanders who went out to the, I have one downloaded that's the really long one, and I don't know if it's in that one or if it's in this one. So I'm just going to double check real quick. We went over this when this very first came out. I'll bring it up anyway, just so you guys can see what I am looking at. When the memorandum first came out and we started looking into what was going on with these folk and what the history was. But there's also like I said, there's one that's downloaded that's like 100 and some pages. But they go through them like at the Trump rally and you know who's there. And then Brian James was, and I don't know if he still is because I've heard conflicting information that he may no longer actually have anything to do with this, but at the time he was like one of the top dogs. But I thought there's one of them that actually talks about the other guy. I was trying to find it. There's Bill the Butcher. There's Johnny Messer. Here's Johnny Messer. Here, Mickey McGinley. Here you go. It is this one. Also seen at the MAGA March using the Vinlanders hand sign, posing with the Vinlander leader, Brian James, and wearing a VSC jacket. Okay, yeah. This doesn't have anything to do with Trump. It doesn't. This is what they chose to do. This is what they were doing. Yeah, the KKK are litter bugs, apparently. Yes. So here you go. So you have Johnny Messer, you have Mickey McGinley, and then you have Patrick Westfall. There you go. So that's what they're talking about. Just wanted to kind of show you as we went along so you guys could see what was actually being talked about. So Josh Chrisman and Mickey McGinley organized a house party at McGinley's for the Vinlanders and the American Guard members after the 2016 MAGA rally. Brett Holder knows Josh Chrisman. I can't remember if Brett Holder attended the house party at McGinley's or not. JC, Josh Chrisman, worked transporting hogs for the same company that Elvis Fields worked for under the table. So this company that he worked for actually delivered, it's called Weichman's Farm. And I don't know if I put it on my map or not. Let me go see. Can I add it here? It may not have. I'll show you though. So Weichman's Farm is the company is literally across the street from where the ballpark is. Right here. I don't have it on here. So yeah, so right there in town. So if you're talking about being able to know the area, which is what they're essentially saying, is that if he's working for this trucking company and he's helping, and Elvis Fields is helping, they absolutely know the lay of the land in this area. Weichman. It's like Weichman. Weichman. So JC worked transporting hogs for the same company that Elvis Fields worked for under the table, connecting Brad Holder and Elvis Fields. Click said Johnny Messer was known to him as someone who was in and out of Rushville jail often. He was able to connect Messer and Fields in Rushville. We all know that, or I don't know if we all know, but so Johnny Messer was actually arrested in 2018 for counterfeiting and for drugs and I think carrying. I think he was carrying a weapon. Don't quote me on that last one, but I'm almost positive that's what it is. I can pull up the Prezi and it's on there. So if you guys have access to the Prezi, it's in there. And if you guys don't know what the Prezi is, it's an entire deep dive into everything and anything I know about Delphi that still never got finished. Meth and gun, and he was part of the count. They were investigating that counterfeit ring, and Patrick Westfall brings up the counterfeit ring when he's on Sleuth Intuitions Live. So he connected Messer and Fields in Rushville, established through two other guys in Rushville that Messer was trying to recruit them into the Vinlanders. Click has seen the crime scene photos and testified today that unequivocally there were sticks in Abby's hair mimicking antlers. This is a huge point of contention on social media. All I can tell you is that there are sticks that are on top of Abby's hair. I cannot tell you that they are antlers. I didn't put them there. But I can tell you that there are sticks on top of Abby's hair. I love your Prezi. Open at all times on my laptop. It's so helpful. I'm glad to hear that because I have not added stuff to it lately and I need to go back and work on it. Especially with trial coming up. But I think it would still just be anybody who wants to know the history of Delphi and all the people and who is what and how they're connected. That's what the Prezi does. So Johnny Messer's uncle, Billy Messer, lived with Elvis Fields. And if you guys don't remember, Johnny Messer was a Vinlander. He was probate in the article I just showed you. And he was a probate. And he was in charge of recruitment. So his uncle lived with Elvis Fields. Thank you, Angel Ray. I appreciate it. It's funny. Westfall said Messer never recruited for Vinlanders. Messer's video and audio interview with police, he admits to always recruiting for the Vinlanders. I don't know. They were both probates at the same time. I don't even know if he actually knew what he was doing. Or maybe he's just saying that he wasn't. Military might be a common denominator, as mentioned by someone else. I'm leaning towards pig as the common connection myself. So do you have any intel on Liggett having 2 sexual misconduct charges? Oh, interesting. I don't have any. The jury should be given access to the Prezi. I don't know. There's so much in there. Like I said, I need to go back and finish it, but life is life. And okay, so now here we're going to talk about the phones. And let me make sure I pull this up for you guys too. So we're going to go into that. So Johnny Messer's ex, which is Taylor, told police that on Johnny Messer's old phone was a video of a kidnapping at gunpoint that Messer had committed. Okay. Click obtained Messer's phone from Taylor and verifies the video exists. This seems to also be a very big point of confusion since this hearing. So I want to go into some of the things that I have put together. She also provided photos from meetings and outings of their Vinlander group. The photos include Johnny Messer, Patrick Westfall, and Brad Holder, showing that they are all at these meetings together. So hence attaching Johnny Messer directly to Brad Holder. Okay. So now this, where is it? Is it this one? This is an affidavit for probable cause that was written by Todd Click. So we're going to read through this. Taylor was the ex-girlfriend. Actually, I want to read through something else first. Let me go in here first because I want to show you guys this. So if you guys remember, back in September, all those many months ago, when we very first read the Franks memo, Taylor comes up as a topic in the Franks memo. So I'm gonna go through that too. Jerry Holman claimed that he did not even know who Johnny Messer was. This is also just an interesting little side note. In Jerry Holman's deposition, he says he doesn't even know who Johnny Messer is. Now, that's interesting. He claimed that he did not even know who he was, nor what the evidence showed of Messer's possible role in the murders of Abby and Libby. It is additionally infuriating that Johnny Messer was cleared as a suspect in the murders when considering these facts. Well, we know this to be bullshit because they were consistently asking for the Unified Command, who Holman was one of the big dogs in, to come forward or to come and issue these warrants after all these connections were put together. And he's just like, yeah, I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is. Oh, I should have pulled those up for you guys. So Johnny Messer's daughter and friends, and ironically, in the screenshots that I happened to take back when this was all happening, Billy Messer, who's his uncle, they are all coming on social media September 18th, September 19th, September 20th, and they're talking about that Johnny Messer was cleared years ago in this case. In this case, that Johnny Messer was cleared as a suspect in this case. That's Johnny Messer's daughter, his friends, his uncle. All saying he was cleared. How was he cleared if he wasn't a suspect? Number one. And who the hell cleared him? Because Jerry Holman up here, who's in charge of the Unified Command, right? I mean, he's the big dog. There's only, 6 or 7 of them in the Unified Command. Uh-oh, what happened? Sorry, T. Hope T doesn't read it the way I did. It might be me long day. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm not gonna. You guys got that under control. I'll let you guys handle it. I don't know what happened. Okay, so Johnny's ex-girlfriend Taylor Hornaday told police that Johnny Messer and Patrick Westfall were like brothers. She also told police that she had allowed Johnny to borrow her car on or around Valentine's Day 2017, and that Johnny drove her car up there to hang out with his Vinlander friends. When he returned her vehicle, it had dried blood all over one side of it. Johnny Messer refused to discuss the details of how the blood got there. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend further stated that it took her several car washes to finally remove the blood. Meanwhile, Messer has claimed that he had never, not once in his life, been to Delphi, home of his quote-unquote brother, Patrick Westfall, and near the home of his other Odinite brother, Brad Holder. Okay, so then they talk about that they're all confirmed to be, Taylor Hornet also confirmed that all the Vinlanders were also Odinists, and that Johnny Messer, Brad Holder, and Patrick Westfall were all members of the Vinlanders. Even though Patrick Westfall himself says that Brad Holder was not an actual member of the Vinlanders, and somebody here might remember what he calls him, but it's essentially like a quote unquote like supporter, but that's not the term that they use. It's like somebody who contributes financially, buys their t-shirts and comes to support them, but not an actual member. I don't know if you guys remember what that was called. I don't remember the word he used. But Messer's ex-girlfriend also told law enforcement that Brad Holder and Johnny Messer were two of the most violent people she knew and were fully capable of having been involved in the murders. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend further stated that a motive for their involvement in the murder of Abby and Libby might be the concept of blood in and blood out, which means social acceptance into their secret circles. She doesn't know that. She's saying that that might be the motive. All this information was relayed to Liggett and the Unified Command team, yet Unified Command provided no guidance as to what to do to capitalize on this information in order to work towards solving the murders. It has to be... What Click's investigation, Click, Murphy, and Ferency's investigation ended in 2021. Just remember that. Everything that they were looking at, it ended in 2021. They arrested Richard Allen in 2022. Why at that time, when this was an unsolved crime, the biggest in the history of that area, did they not want to follow up on any potential leads? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I know that people are like super pro law enforcement, and I really do. I absolutely back the blue. I really do. But can somebody please explain to me how people do not either believe that this is incompetence or corruption? And then it's being played off like it's just some little mistakes that were made. They just made some mistakes. This isn't a mistake. This was brought to them repeatedly, and they refused. They refused to look at it from Purdy. They refused to look at it when the Purdue professor told them it was a possibility. They refused to look at it when Ferency, Murphy, and Click were trying to tell them to look at it and to issue subpoenas. They consistently said, no, we're not looking at it. But yet, we're going to go ahead and blame it on this guy that we essentially lost his tip. And then there's the whole point of if you have Richard Allen's tip and he's in there and he's quote unquote marked as cleared, right? And there's some that are trying to convince me, and it's never going to happen, that the whole issue in the filing had to do with the Whiteman Drive. Bullshit, because the name is still Richard Allen Whiteman. Why aren't you looking for him then? I'd love to see what you did. I'd love to see what you did to find Richard Allen Whiteman then, which essentially means that he was cleared. They cleared Richard Allen, but yet 5.5 years later, they uncleared him. So tell me that there's not something hinky with this. Okay, now, additionally, Unified Command learned that Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend had been listening to and recording Johnny Messer's phone calls. Police secured the phone and listened to 3 phone calls involving Johnny Messer. In 2 of those phone calls, Messer was offering money to other people to find someone so they can be injured or killed. The 3rd call involves Messer bragging about holding a subject hostage and shooting them at his house. So not only do they not care about solving Abby and Libby's case, they also don't care about figuring out who the heck these people are that are being held hostage and shot. And if that's even real. Essentially, this says nothing to see here regarding Johnny Messer and issued no search warrants for his home. None have been disclosed to the defense if they have, nor did they attempt to utilize an age-old investigative tool referred to as an interrogation, it's a little dig, to pursue the truth about the involvement of Johnny Messer, Brad Holder, or Patrick Westfall in these crimes. And I get that there are people who are like, there's no proof that they're involved. And my response is, there's also no proof that they're not. And you want to know why? Because the Unified Command did not do their freaking jobs and follow up. We don't know if these people did it. But we don't know they didn't because nobody gave a shit to follow up and actually issue the search warrants. Even if you think, oh, no, he's cleared with Abby and Libby. Okay, who's this person that he fucking says he held hostage and shot at his house? Who is that? This is why I'm like, there's no way that this isn't intentional. Okay, so now I want to read through this affidavit. That's what I want to go to. Okay, here. The affidavit of probable cause in support of the search warrant. Comes now, your affiant, Major Todd Click, being duly sworn, been employed with the police department since May of 2001. I currently serve as an assistant chief of police and hold the rank of major, where I am responsible for supervising major criminal investigations, and I have served in this capacity since January 1st of 2012. I have extensive training and experience conducting major criminal investigations I served as a detective for the Rushville Police Department from August of 2008 until December 31st of 2011. In August 2018, I began providing investigative assistance to investigators working the double homicide of Abby Williams and Liberty German. In Delphi, Indiana, during the course of this investigation, I learned that Johnny Messer and Eric Basham were involved in a kidnapping that occurred in Indianapolis, Indiana. I had spoken with Taylor Hornaday, Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend. Taylor told me that Johnny Messer and Eric Basham had gone to Indianapolis, Indiana on December 29th of 2017 to purchase methamphetamines. Taylor told me that Johnny had been in contact with the guy she thought was named Mike. Taylor told me that Johnny Messer and Eric Basham met with Mike and gave him $4,000 to purchase methamphetamine. Taylor told me that Mike failed to return to where Johnny Messer and Eric Basham were, and Mike had essentially stole their $4,000. Taylor told me that Johnny Messer kidnapped a friend of Mike's. Taylor told me that the friend went by the street name of Wiener. Taylor told me that Johnny Messer kidnapped Wiener at gunpoint until he either got his $4,000 back or he got $4,000 worth of methamphetamine. Taylor told me that she had previously installed a spyware program on Johnny Messer's cell phone that allowed her to listen to Johnny's surroundings through the speaker on his cell phone. This is a big deal. Okay, so she told me that she had previously installed a spyware program on his phone that allowed her to listen to Johnny's surroundings through the speaker on his cell phone. Taylor told me that she was listening. I mean, I think there's some trust issues here, I'm just going to say. She's listening to what Johnny Messer's doing, and so she can hear the kidnapping as it was happening. Taylor told me that she could hear Wiener begging Johnny Messer not to kill him. In November of 2018, a search warrant was obtained through Vigo County, Indiana, for Taylor's cell phone. So this is now going to be referred to as cell phone number 1. This search warrant was an injunction with the Delphi double homicide investigation. During the search of Taylor Hornaday's cell phone, recordings of Johnny Messer's cell phone calls were found. One of these recordings was of Johnny Messer talking to someone regarding the theft of his $4,000. The phone call recording corroborated Taylor's report of the kidnapping in Indianapolis. So on January 15th of 2019, I went to Puntonville Correctional Facility and interviewed Eric Basham. Eric Basham confirmed that the kidnapping took place. Eric Basham told me that he had recently gotten a large monetary settlement, and Eric Basham told me that he and Johnny Messer had gone to Indianapolis to purchase $4,000 worth of methamphetamines. Eric Basham told me that he and Johnny Messer made contact with one of Johnny's connections. Eric Basham told me that he gave Johnny's connection $4,000, and this guy was supposed to come back and give them $4,000 worth of methamphetamines. Eric Basham told me that this guy stole his money. Eric Basham told me that Johnny Messer grabbed this guy's friend Wiener, not his friend's Wiener, just the guy named Wiener, at gunpoint and put him in the truck. Eric Basham told me that Johnny Messer had a .380 handgun, but that he didn't have any bullets for the gun. Eric Basham told me that Johnny was trying to use Wiener as leverage. That he was trying to use Wiener as leverage to either get the $4,000 back or get their methamphetamine. Eric told me that he tried to convince Johnny Messer several times to let this guy go, but Johnny refused. Eric Basham told me that Wiener was able to find them a supplier for $4,000 worth of methamphetamine. Eric Basham told me that Johnny Messer released Wiener once they got the drugs. On January 28, 2019, I was contacted by Taylor Hornaday. Taylor told me that she was cleaning her house today and found an old cell phone. Taylor told me she thought this phone belonged to her ex-boyfriend, Johnny Messer. Taylor told me that she entered the cell phone and confirmed the cell phone did belong to Johnny Messer. Taylor told me that she also found text messages in the phone regarding Johnny's involvement in the kidnapping that occurred in Indianapolis. I have probable cause to believe that the evidence of crime of kidnapping may be stored within the cellular telephone that is described as a blue Samsung Galaxy cell phone belonging to Johnny Messer. I respectfully request that a search warrant be issued to search, seize, and analyze data that may be stored within the cellular telephone's contact list, incoming, outgoing call history, incoming, outgoing text message history, photo gallery, notes, in any and all areas where digital media may be stored. That is now phone number 2. So the recording of it is from Taylor's phone because she had spyware put onto his phone. No wiener's worth a felony. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Oh, yeah, good. Libertarian, could you hear his friends? They grabbed our wiener. They've got our wiener. So now cell phone number 2 is actually Johnny Messer's cell phone. This is there's so many cell phones in this that I think people have gotten very confused. So this is now cell phone number 2. Okay. So let's go back to reading the notes. If I can find them again. Here we are. Okay. I can't even read half the comments in chat. You guys are making me choke. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so here, Click obtains Messer's phone from Taylor and verifies that the video exists. Okay, this is 2 separate phones, but that's fine because he gets both phones. He has both phones. Click has received the phone from Taylor that was hers, where the recordings were, and he also received a phone from Taylor that actually belonged to Johnny Messer. Okay. So she also provided photos from meetings and outings of their Vinlander group. The photos included Johnny Messer, Patrick Westfall, and Brad Holder. Now, here comes the next one. Alicia, everybody's got a different spelling of this. So Alicia, the mother of Johnny Messer's child, reached out to Click and advised him that she had an old cell phone of Johnny's that she thought he'd want. This is the phone that is considered to be the Goldilocks phone. Click contacted Holman and explained to him the importance of the Goldilocks phone. Holman told Click that he would make arrangements to obtain the phone. Later, Click learned from Alicia that Holman never reached out to her for the phone. Never reached out to her. Tell him, T. I can't even read this chat right now. I have to purposely ignore this chat right now. Question. Helen, you're going to come in with a normal question, right? Thank you. Okay, could the defense show in court that Gold did not give the defense enough money to prove that their client is innocent? I think that there's some more technicalities that are going to have to be worked out with the money stuff, because even in, like I was saying earlier, like their motion, they're saying that she denied it based on, certain criteria. So maybe they have to fix that. I don't know, because it's weird to me that they're not given like a dollar amount. Like you can have this amount per hour, this amount max, and that they don't know where they can kind of use that money in that criteria. Does that make sense? So this is all very weird to me. But essentially, I mean, I think what's going to end up happening is they're probably going to end up forking the money out of their own pocket and then just hoping to be reimbursed. That's my thought process. Yeah, I don't think they're calling this guy to the stand. Yeah, I mean, can you also imagine? Can you imagine? They're like, we couldn't find the victim. They're just walking around the streets going, has anybody seen Wiener? I just couldn't. I can't. Okay. So contacted Holman, explained to him the importance of this phone. This is after Richard Allen is arrested. There's already a defense team in place, and he's now getting contacted by somebody who, knows that he was working this investigation, and it's like, hey, I have this other phone of Johnny Messer's. I have another phone of his that maybe, they'd get picked up for solicitation. They would. I can't even look at the chat. I gotta ignore you guys for a second. So I can't think straight right now. Holman told Click that he would make arrangements to obtain the phone. Click later learned from Alicia that Holman never reached out to her for the phone. Click then informed defense's investigator of the phone, and the defense team went and retrieved it. He met with Holman and Mullen. Okay, we're going to stop here for a second. So this whole thing has kind of gotten kind of crazy because I know that like Bob went live like that night. I'm like literally going to have to close my chat because I can't even handle this. Is my wiener skinny? God, I can't even handle this chat right now. It's a Saturday night. I don't know what I was thinking. I can't with you two. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then right after the hearing, Bob went live. He got a little hangry when he was live, but he was going through his notes. And he made a comment about there being something to do with a video or audio of a kidnapping of a girl potentially. Well, then he kind of got a lot of backlash on social media for that. But what I want to say is there, and I cannot wait for the transcripts to come out because I do think that this is going to become very clear, because Bob is not the only one who reported that there was a girl mentioned in this video or audio. Now, there are at least 3 other people, 2 that have YouTube channels, and 1 that was there and just took notes and gave me the notes, and all of them say that there was a video of a girl mentioned. So I think that there's something to it. I don't know where it falls into place, but I'm telling you that that was 4 independent accounts of what was heard, and I think that we're going to hear more about this. That's my opinion, and I think there's going to be more to it. I think there's going to be something that has to do with videos or audios of something to do with a girl with Johnny Messer. Mark my words. So he then met with Holman and Mullen, 8/30/2023, and they were, who confirmed this date? Because I didn't know that he actually said a date. I don't know where that one came. I don't know whose notes actually said it had a date. I'm curious. They were going to show him their evidence on Richard Allen. They didn't. It was a bust. Mullen and Holman wanted Click to provide all investigative materials, which Click did. Click testified that in his opinion, ISP was not interested in what he had, and that the meeting did not put his mind at ease. He thinks that they were trying to just tie up loose ends. Okay, so if we go back to the timeline here, if you remember do I have the Prezi yet? I wonder if I do. I don't. On the timeline, all the depositions took place at the beginning of August with Holman and Liggett and so on. And then they now know, remember, this is like the big thing that the defense team keeps pushing, is they didn't know that we knew. They didn't know, the state, the investigators didn't know that we, the defense team, knew about the Odinism angle. We didn't know that they didn't know we knew about the people involved. They didn't know that we knew about the investigators. They didn't know we knew about the guards until the beginning of August of 2023. CH, you're contributing. Maybe I'll just let the chat go for a couple minutes and we can just get it out of our system. Give me a second, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm probably gonna have to like turn the chat replay off, or maybe I have to leave it on so that people understand what the hell I'm talking about when I'm on here. Okay, so he met with Holman and Mullen, and essentially he gives them everything that from his investigation into the Odin angle, or the, even if you take away the Odin angle and you just put the people involved, just the people with Westfall, Messer, Elvis Fields, that whole crew. There we go. So he gives it all to them, and he says they were just tying up loose ends, which it kind of fits because remember, he sent that certified letter to McClelland back in May. Back in May. They want to interview him now in the end of August, or even anytime in August? Why in the world would they now decide they need to talk to Click? Like, bring him in, we'll make him feel better, we'll coax his ego a little bit. All right. So when he leaves this interview, Brad Holder is in the freaking lobby. I think it's interesting that they have Brad Holder there. And I do believe it was probably on the 30th, and we know they brought Brad Holder in for an interview on the 30th. So that's not surprising that the dates would kind of align. But why would you, if you're the investigators who don't believe that this guy has anything to do with anything, right? Why are you re-interviewing him? That's my first question. Why even bring him back? Why bring in Westfall? Why bring in Westfall's kid? Why are you even talking to any of these people? And then why would you schedule intentionally to have the investigator who was investigating Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, and all of them, why would you schedule his interview to be right after Clicks? So here it is. It's either intentional or you're just completely incompetent. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So Brad Holder's just chilling in the lobby, like, hey, what's up? I just told on you. Okay, so the second witness that, oh, hold on. During BH's interview with ISP, Baldwin argues that Brad Holder was not asked any questions. Oh, okay, that was the other thing. So there was a conversation essentially about the difference in the interview from the one done on 8:30 to the one that would have been originally done. Because at this point, the state just keeps objecting and saying, hey, none of this is relevant because the interviews that were lost are from 2017. So anything that this Click guy did from 2018 until 2021, it's irrelevant. Like, don't even pay attention to it because it doesn't have to do with the time frame of the motion to dismiss. Well, Baldwin, who I think we were talking about earlier, everybody in the courtroom agreed, even pro prosecutor side, that Baldwin was doing a very good job of making sure that it was laid out like, hey, we're trying to show the court that all of these were deleted on purpose. So they ask him about like the comparison from what would have been in Brad Holder's interviews from 2017 to the interview on August 30th of 2023. And what's interesting is that Brad Holder's interview in 2023, he was never asked any questions about Elvis Fields, Patrick Westfall, about Brad being scared of Patrick Westfall, or why he was no longer friends with Patrick Westfall. So like, what the fuck did he talk to him about? What was he in there for? And we know that when they brought Patrick Westfall in, at least according to Patrick Westfall, when he was on Sleuth Intuition, he gave them a DNA sample. He took lie detector tests, all the things that didn't happen back in 2017. But why now are they investigating that? If there's nothing to it, and it's not a big deal, they did all this investigative work back at the beginning, right? I mean, Holman, Liggett, all the same freaking players. This is all the same investigators, you guys. You know, that said, hey, we investigated these guys so well back in 2017 that we cleared them all. Why in the world would you need to re-interview any of them and ask anything? Wouldn't your investigation from 2017 when you cleared them, wouldn't that be good enough to show, hey, look, we investigated them. We've done all this. We've already cleared them. They're good. And, and the whole Brad Holder thing, we already, we confirmed his alibi. We know where he was. It's confirmed. Then why the fuck do you need to talk to Brad Holder again? It's done. I think I just get frustrated, I think, and I know that's not you guys, but there's so many people who just like dismiss this like it's not important. Like, oh, you fucking crazy people that are looking in the Odin angle. Well, I'm not. I'm looking at the fucking Johnny Messer, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Elvis Fields angle. How about just them in general? As people, as human beings, as people who are potential suspects that they say were cleared. And they also remember there was nothing exculpatory during any of those interviews. So once again, still no purpose to re-interview them. Nope, not buying it. They exchanged cookie recipes. Like so. What are you up to? Okay, so the second witness was Amber Holder. Apparently, she didn't really get to talk very much, but I think that there's a couple things that I found very interesting here. That the judge decided to do a sidebar, and almost seems like she was kind of pushing the defense, like, hey, like, I know where you're kind of going with all of this, but like, this isn't really the time. Like, this is trial stuff, so like, let's kind of keep it for trial. And I'm paraphrasing from different people who were kind of overhearing. But the state maintained, and the judge agreed that the motion to dismiss only incorporates the narrow time frame in which the missing interviews existed and were destroyed. Once again, it's the same concept of what did she know that would have made those interviews very important. So even though she's not interviewed until later, and that was another big thing, is they asked like when she was interviewed, and I don't think Baldwin had that like handy, and so the judge was like, yeah, no, we're not gonna go too far into it. But the point is, hold on, I have to cough. The point is that she knew things about that time frame and why those interviews would have been important had they asked these types of questions. Now, there's a few things that we don't know. Obviously, he didn't know when, Amber's interview took place, but we also don't know. We know the date of when Brad Holder's original interview took place, but there's nothing in like the summary reports. Like we the public don't know when they wrote the summary report, how much time had passed before they even wrote this. Did they take any notes during the interview, or were they counting on the fact that it was being recorded? If they took notes, were those turned over or were those destroyed? When did they write that summary report, and did they, at that point, ever go back and actually use the video to create the summary report? So we don't know those things either. We don't even know how long they talked to Brad Holder. We don't know how long the interview was. We don't know anything about it, except for just that the interview got deleted and that's it. So Baldwin argues that if you're willing to hide evidence in 2023, you're probably also willing to hide evidence in 2017. It's a pretty good argument, seeing as how they already knew from September of 2017 that these interviews were deleted, and they didn't bother to tell the defense until recently. Baldwin states that if Amber Holder were allowed to testify, she would tell the court that Brad Holder told her about his falling out with Patrick Westfall because of a sacrifice in the woods near a river. Patrick Westfall wanted to, quote unquote, up the animal, to up animal sacrifice, like go to the next level. I don't know any other level that's above animal sacrifice besides humans. So she's testifying. Her testimony would essentially be, this is what Brad is telling her about Patrick. And we also know that he tells her, like, if you keep asking questions about Patrick, I can't help you. I will not be able to protect you. You have to, like, just stop, like, leave it alone. This was a big one, too. So also tells the court that she believes and she knows that the sticks were runes due to her own personal beliefs. So she was also a practicing Norse pagan Odinist, right along next to Brad Holder. And you can see it on her Facebook. She's very proud of it too. If anybody was to know what Brad Holder meant by putting anything on the bodies, if it was Brad Holder or people who were connected to Brad Holder, wouldn't it be the people who were friends with them? Amber also needs to have protection. I absolutely agree. Brad said to Amber that Brad, saw Westfall's phone. Okay. So now we're at phone number 4. Remember, we have phone number 1, that's Taylor's. Phone number 2, that was Messer's from Taylor. Phone number 3 is Messer's from Alicia. Phone number 4 is Patrick Westfall's phone. So Brad tells Amber that Brad, saw on Westfall's phone a video of girls being posed a certain way with sticks on them. Now, this made me go, is this the conversation or the testimony that about video of girls posed a certain way? Like, was this in the woods? Did that get brought in from Amber's testimony about this other video? Or is there another video on Messer's phone that have to do with a girl? Telling you, something's coming out with that. I wouldn't just push it to the wayside like so many want to. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. So I also want to just point out, if you guys remember, like through all the press conferences, they were like, somebody knows who this is. Somebody, knows that this is your father, your son, your brother. Somebody knows who this is. We just need that person to come forward and tell us, like, that you know who this is. You know how he walks. You know how he looks. You know the kind of clothes he wears. You know who this is. And I just want to make it very clear that Elvis Fields had 2 sisters. Both sisters come forward to law enforcement and literally tell them, we know who this is. We know that he said he was on the bridge. That was another thing that came out. I don't think that's on the list here. That was another thing that came out in the hearing. Hold on. I think Sleuthy's blowing me up real quick. Okay, I'll pull that up. Give me a second. That's on page 14. Okay, I'll pull that up just a second. But so they asked for somebody in this person's family to come forward and say who it is. And they have 2 sisters. One is pushing so hard to come forward about what she knew that she calls her friend who works for Homeland Security and is like, hey, they won't take me seriously. Nobody will talk to me. I try to tip it in and nobody will talk to me. So another just year goes by of them just ignoring anything to do with this type of investigation. They don't want to look at it. So she gets her Homeland Security friend to finally get her an interview where she takes a lie detector test, and then, which she passes, essentially saying, yes, Elvis Fields did tell her these things, and she's telling the truth. And people are like, well, that doesn't show that Elvis Fields is telling the truth. Except for the fact that he tells his sister Mary all of these things. Only the killer knows these things about the crime scene. So we're going to keep it close to our, close to the vest, and we're going to keep it so that only the killer will know about these certain things when it comes to the crime scene. So now you have this person that you've literally been asking for years to tell you about their family member who looks like this, walks like this, talks like this. And this very same person is also knows about the damn crime scene that nobody knows about. And I don't even know if Elvis Fields had anything to do with it because law enforcement didn't go and investigate it. And then all these people are out here that are so pro-prosecution and so pro-law enforcement. They're like, yes, they did. They cleared them. Okay, they cleared them? When? When did they clear them? When were these people cleared? Somebody show me the documentation that these people were cleared. And then show me where Richard Allen was cleared. And tell me that's not off at all. That's totally okay. And that these people that you cleared back in 2017, supposedly, you decided to bring them all back in August of 2023? And that's just normal? I also heard somebody tell me the other day, they're like, they're trying to preach, like, you don't think that if they found Elvis Field's spit, that they would have just arrested him right away? And I'm thinking, I don't think they even looked for any type of DNA like that. I can't even guarantee that these people even processed the scene correctly, because pretty sure that there was at least 3 law enforcement agencies during different interviews who stated that there was some type of contamination at the crime scene. It's just frustrating. So Stacey Diener brings up Steve Mullen again. This is like not the guy that I would count on at all. Just to say, like, hey, there was only one interview from Brad Holder in 2017. The defense was provided with a narrative of the interview that was prepared by the FBI special agent. I would like to see this person deposed, this FBI special agent. According to Mullen's itemized list of discovery provided to the defense, the narrative report was provided to the defense on 2/13 of 2023. Because remember, Mullen is the one that's in charge of dropping off all the discovery, all the evidence and discovery. The DVR recording system was new at the time, and Mullen was Delphi's chief of police. Mullen claims that somehow settings were changed, which led to 6 terabytes. It's a 6 terabyte DVR system. I don't know, because I think somebody else's notes said it was 6 terabytes that were removed. This is what makes it hard, but I cannot wait, because we're going to be able to read the transcripts and actually see exactly how this all went without any, because like I said, everybody's got like a little bit different of what they've heard and what they didn't hear. Let me see what you guys are saying. What's the micro print on chat? I don't know what that means. Remember, they said the crime scene was so hard to process because of searchers contaminating it with urine, spit, etc. Convenient. Yeah. The fact that Kim Riley used the word spit in his interview. Let me see. They stopped the search the first night. Everything they find the next day is contaminated, period. Well, and that's the other thing. We don't know, they talk about like that the animals and wildlife and, anything that could have happened overnight or anything like that. We don't know that there wasn't actually antlers placed on Abby's head and that they didn't get shuffled around in the nighttime. We don't know that. I don't care if he's mentally challenged. The mentality of a 7-year-old knows better than to get involved in murdering girls. I struggle with the mentally challenged part simply because he's obviously okay enough. He lives by himself. He has a driver's license. He is obviously, there might be something off or slower, but I don't know. Maybe like if you're testing him like in math, science, and social studies, slow. But he's rebuilding an engine. I wouldn't even be able to tell you even where to start with that. So he doesn't not know anything. And I don't know anybody that's going to be like, oh yeah, he can just totally live by himself and drives and does whatever. Oh, that's another thing with the Elvis Fields. Everybody's like, well, he says he only had like his little car that was kind of broke down. Well, nobody's ever accused him of driving to Delphi. Just FYI. Everybody has thought that he was driven there in another vehicle and he left his phone at home intentionally because they were going there to do something. So nobody thinks that he drove there. That's a huge question for me. I don't know how they're going to get this done in 2 weeks. And if it will only fit in 2 weeks, I don't even know if that favors the prosecution, because if the prosecution knows that they have a ton more evidence to present, because remember, they still have to, during the trial, they have to lay out exactly, how the girls went missing, exactly who found them, exactly how they processed the crime scene. So you have all these different people that are coming on, and you have the medical examiner, and this is 2 girls too. It's not just one. So there has to be, and all the charges are separate. So they have to prove it for each girl and each count. So then you have to have the bullets, right? they obviously have something to do with geofencing, which still makes me go that I'm still very interested in this geofencing, which is probably the one thing that I'm probably the most curious about right now, in favor of the prosecution, ironically. But how, if they have so much more evidence that we don't know about, like everybody keeps trying to say, wouldn't they need a longer amount of time to present that? So how is the prosecution only okay? Like they're saying, no, we're going to be able to wrap up our case in, 7 days. How does that make sense? Where's the rest of the evidence? Because you had to have some other people that get on the stand to be able to testify, right? If they had a ton more evidence, that makes me think they don't. They don't have a ton more evidence. Because that timeline kind of fits with, we've got a bullet and we're going to have somebody come and testify about a bullet. We've got our medical examiner and we've got our, our people who found them, and we've got the family members who are going to tell us how they got there and how they couldn't find them. And that's like it. So I don't know. That's my thought process. If they actually had a lot more evidence, I think we'd be doing this a lot longer. How long was Adam Montgomery's? And they didn't put it on a defense. How long was Adam Montgomery's? Because they didn't have shit for actual evidence, but they had what's her name's testimony, which was really all they needed. But they didn't have they didn't have a body, they didn't have a medical examiner, and then the defense didn't put anything on it. I think it was a little over a week. That's why. So it makes me just think that there is no more evidence. No, not the coroner, the medical examiner. It was like a little over a week. Yeah, it went really quick. So I don't know. That's my opinion. If they had a lot more, I think they would be asking for more time to be able to deliver that. Doesn't seem like they're presenting a lot. Let's see. The only evidence they have to try and establish that timeline is the phone usage stopped. That worked in Murdoch. It will not work here. The phone usage stopped of like Richard Allen's. Well, see, this is where I'm struggling about the geofencing, but that's a topic I think for a whole nother live. Right. That was kind of my point, is they didn't have the medical examiner and they didn't have any of that, but they didn't have a ton of like experts on the stand. So I was just kind of using it as a comparison because they didn't put on a defense and they didn't have a medical examiner or a lot of experts on there. They have different death dates on their death certificates. Well, so the immediate is always the day that the remains are found. That is always the first initial date of death. And then they can go back and change it once the autopsy is done. And people keep saying that Abby has the 14th on her tombstone. She doesn't. She has the 13th. I think I actually have that picture. So originally her obituary said the 14th, which is not uncommon. Like I said, it's not uncommon that they use that date. But her headstone actually says the 13th, and so does Abby's. They did not establish the time of death. Well, it depends on if you believe David Erskine, because David Erskine says he saw the death certificates and that they said it was over by 2 or 3:30. Remember, but I don't think so. I don't think they can establish it. Otherwise, I don't know why the defense would be even pushing anything outside of it if it was already proven. In her obituary, they use the 14th. But what I'm saying is that's not uncommon, because the date they're found is typically the date that is used, but the families have the choice to change it. So it's not uncommon, but I wanted you guys to see that her headstone actually says the 13th. Not that that's overly important. It's just something I keep hearing. Okay, so let me pull up what Sleuthy sent. And I think that was from the Franks also. So I think I can just pull it up on the Franks. Right here. Okay, so the court will learn in the body of this memorandum that Holder was connected to the crimes, the crime scene, and two other men who had confessed to the crime. And two other men. Okay, so the court will learn in the body of this memorandum that Holder was connected to the crime scene, and two other men who had confessed to the crime. The evidence of those connections will be provided in the body of the memorandum. Okay, now that's interesting. Two other men? Who would the second one be? And good find here, Sleuthy. Two other men. It's that damn typo with the two. All right, let's see. Okay, so Elvis Fields confessed to his sister. Elvis confessed to her. Well, we know he confessed essentially to both sisters. Oh, thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. Men. Yeah, not man. This is some of it's new-ish, but no, we're kind of going back. From the testimony, I tried to pull up some of the things from before that kind of tie into what was actually testified to, because that was the other thing, is that a lot of people really push out like that's the defense, it's their job, they're supposed to just like essentially make shit up and try to get their guy off. But now you have an actual retired law enforcement agent who is saying the exact opposite of other law enforcement agents, and he testified under oath willingly. So it's not just some made-up mumbo-jumbo in a Frank's memo. Okay, so Bob Matthews, late founder of the Order, of which Lane was a member, adopted a series of Denver skinhead who confessed to the November murder of a man. Okay, that's not it. Elvis confessed to his sisters. Okay, like I was saying, so he confessed to both of his sisters essentially, because he said to one sister that he was going to go away for a long time and wanted her to take his blue coat. And the other sister he tells, and I might be mixing up exactly what he said, but the other sister he tells that he now had new brothers, and it was going to be, he had like a family now. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'll pull that up in just a second. So let me see. So he confessed to both of his sisters, and both of them, one willingly and the other one not so willingly, both went to the police and told them what happened and what he had confessed to. Oh, he also confessed about the antlers or the horns. Yeah, horns. Use sticks to form horns. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any other person in here. So let me see now what Sleuthy's given me. This is from 10/2 of 23. The motion for discovery deadline. Let me see. Several search warrants were signed by judges in Marion County pertaining to certain internet and phone records, including at least one unknown person. Oh. Okay, hold on a second here. Several search warrants signed by judges in Marion County pertaining to certain internet and phone records in Marion County. To certain internet and phone records, including at least one unknown person who admitted to killing the girls, even providing details unknown to the general public of the crime scene. such as the fact that he used a knife in a way consistent with the manner of death, and also claiming that he used a gun but never fired it. So there was a search warrant for an unknown person. How in the world did they get a search warrant for somebody they didn't know who it was, unless it was from possibly from like the geofence? That's interesting. And then this unknown person admitted to killing the girls. Hey, Vigilante. All this information is so 2017. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying here. Liver Murders is color of skin, and it's his last stage in the triad of time of death. Temperature is taken rectally, outside temp is factored, and range of times developed from validated scales. Okay. When will they know if they can have the funding for their experts? Because if she gets her way, she'll wait until the day before trial. Well, that's a great question. I don't know. I need to shower and go to bed so I'm not total trash tomorrow, but so intrigued by this chat and the creator. Thank you, lady. Glad I found it and took a chance. I appreciate that you took a chance too. And the chat is amazing. Like the best people here. In case you need a news flash, this case is covered from the government on down. Take that to the bank and think about what we are dealing with. I know I'm right there with you. It's so entertaining for those that heard of these from the beginning, yet some people want to downgrade insult defense and anything else that doesn't include Richard Allen. Oh, what did Bob say? If the bodies have been drained of blood, liver mortis is not occurring. I don't know if Libby's would have been, but I know that they really imply that Abby's was. ID, connected to the crime, connected to the scene, connected to other men who confessed. Fields and Westfall confessing to Holder per Amber. I mean, there's definitely some fuckery afoot. Let's be real. All I know is that Frank's motion is legit, and everyone was there to testify to exactly what was wrote in it. Mm-hmm. So I have multiple people confessing, and multiple ties to the area. And I think the next biggest thing, and why I think the geofencing is going to be extremely important here, is are they burner phones? Because I keep hearing that a lot, that there's burner phones. Oh, speaking of, I do want to clarify one thing that I did. Somebody had sent me yesterday. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. That, you know what? I think I can actually just pull this up on the map too. I just want to show you guys something. So somebody had sent me that there is something going around social media that Richard Allen bought a burner phone from the Dollar General next, and I don't know where it came from, but they asked me about it, so I said I'll clarify it on the live because I had already talked about it before. But that they think that he bought the burner phone from the Dollar General next to the CVS. I just want to show you guys something. Okay, so here we go. So here's the CVS that Richard Allen worked at, and here's the Dollar General, right? That's right next to it. So I just want to show you. This is real time, well, March of 2024. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to take it back to 2017. And the closest I can get to the actual time of the crime is April of 2017. And I just want to show you guys what's not there. In 2017... Night Truth and Trent, thank you for hanging out and helping us fill in some of the blanks. I'm probably going to wrap up soon anyway. But so just an FYI, if you are hearing that Richard Allen bought a burner phone from the Dollar General next to his CVS, there is no Dollar General next to his CVS in 2017. Now, there are obviously other Dollar Generals, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that he didn't buy something somewhere. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it is not this one, because this was not here. I don't know. What I was sent was that somebody was online saying that Richard Allen bought a burner phone from the Dollar General next to the CVS. And I said, I know that's not true because I've spent so much of my life on this damn map that I already knew that there was no Dollar General there at the time. Now, there's also a Dollar Tree, and it's a dual Dollar Tree / Family Dollar that is across the street from CVS that also at the time of the crimes was not there. So just putting that out there. Yes, there are Dollar Generals in, and I'd have to go and double check to see if they were built in 2017 or not, but I do know that there are some in Peru. I believe there's one in Flora. Just FYI, just want to put that out there into the world. Not there. Anything else? I think that's it. Was it on the side road in year 421? I don't know. I just know that there are other Dollar Generals. I'm not saying that there's not, and it couldn't be from somewhere else. I'm just telling you it's not that one. That's it. They have 2 dollar stores now. The Dollar General used to be by Dollar General. I think maybe you're meaning like the dollar store over here. This one? These two? Which is ironic. They built them right across from each other. Freaking jerks. Talk about competitive. Dollar General was beside Save-A-Lot. Okay. Where's Save-A-Lot? Over here. Are you thinking over here? Because there's no Dollar General over here either, right? Are you saying that this was a Dollar General? I'll look into that then. Whereas, have I ever been to Delphi? Imagine going to a town you've never been to and walking around knowing where everything is. I know. I want to go, but no, I haven't been. So I'm wondering if maybe you're thinking maybe that was the Dollar General. I thought this, from the articles I read, that this was the first Dollar General going into Delphi. But like I said, I don't know. And it doesn't mean that there's not another one. So take that for what you want. I know. I'd be like, so this is where so-and-so lives, and this is where so-and-so lives. I mean, it's kind of interesting. There's a whole other thing that I was chatting with somebody in my email about that I want to go over at some point. But like I said, it's already pretty late anyway. But there's I'll show you this one really quick. So these guys are the ones from the these guys are the I take it for made up bullshit. As you should. But this was Richard Allen's house, and then this, at the time of the murders, this is where Cody Patty's girlfriend lived. Was right here. Just want to throw that out there for you, because I know that we had talked about it on another live, and I was like, oh, I'll figure that out. This is so Cody Patty's girlfriend lived, and he stayed there, so it ends up being his address, and it's 2 doors down from Richard Allen around the time of the murders. So the Dollar General is about as believable as the magic JFK bullet. All right. So the dollar store is for buying candies. I bought an SD card from RA one time at CVS. Did you really? Okay. Oh, I got to go back and see what you said about if the Dollar General was right next to. Did you answer that by chance? Sorry, Dollar General was by Save-A-Lot. Oh, did you? Okay, so was it this building then, where like the subway and stuff is? Because in 2017, I don't see anything there. That's the only thing I can come up with. But I would just like to know, just because I like to be accurate. Okay, let me go read it. They did a subpoena on the Dollar General, bro. And afterwards, they got a copy of the phone that was sold that they were looking for. Why, bro? Why? Why they want a copy? To switch Sims? This is from Brandon Woodhouse? This is from Brandon Woodhouse? Well, he's showing the index. So then that makes me curious if there's something on the index about Dollar General. It is not on the one that I have or has been released publicly. There's no Dollar General on there. But okay, so let me read this again. They did a subpoena on the Dollar General, bro, and afterwards they got a copy of the phone that was sold that they were looking for. How the fudge would you get a copy of a phone? How do you get a copy of a phone? Hold on, let me see this one. This is the Google return. Google return. Does anybody here know how to remove like, let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can find it. There's a weak wiener asking for myself. I doubt it. So I'm curious. Now I'm curious about this. Let me see if we can figure this out. Let's pull up the Prezi. Uno momento. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Travis, when they do a forensic phone extraction, they bib for bit copy all areas of storage. So they would get a copy of a phone. I think Delphi should be declared a disaster area. The store has been open and operating successfully since November 2017. The Dollar General is highly visible as it is strategically positioned at the intersection of West Franklin Street and West Monroe Street. Yes, November 2017, exactly. Not at the time. When did they do a phone? When they do? Oh, I already read that one. Okay. Dollar General was at the end of Franklin Street by the highway. But that's here. That's where it is. That's where it is now, or Pipples. But it wasn't there then. Do you mean it's over here by like the Pizza Hut? Copy of the receipt for the phone, maybe? I don't understand how do you figure out what phone? I don't understand that. That's just beyond my I don't know that stuff. It just rolls off your tongue. Leaks is that they were going to lock up the defense for unsubstantiated. I can't even talk anymore. Oh my gosh, unsubstantiated lawful activity. Okay, hold on. Let me do this now. Okay, let's look at the Prezi. And then I'm going to show you guys a screenshot that I cannot uncover. And if any of you guys know how to, let me know, and I will happily send it to you so that you guys can do it. But give me a second. I got to find it now. I'm going to do that while this loads. Okay, so here is the thumb drive map. Oh, it's still not wanting to load very well. There we go. Nope. Oh, that's fine. Whatever. Just have to go back in. Okay, so this is the thumb drive map. This is the pieces that I could find on social media that had been released. There is, I need to find my media files. And let me see if I can find this particular screenshot. Like I said, if you guys know how to get rid of this garbage that's on the bottom. So this is one screenshot that Brandon Woodhouse had sent to Mark Cohen at he did a lot of like scribbling out of stuff, but not everything. And then he would send the same screenshot without it being redacted. So it was kind of weird. But there is this one that the bottom of it is information I don't have. So I'll show it to you guys and how I know I don't have it. And come back to what you guys are saying. Yeah, I had to dig around for a long time to figure them out. Yeah, to find all the different pieces that had been. I do not have them all. No, there's definitely more. There's more that never got put out in the public. Clearly states that there was no evidence on any of RA's devices, which in theory would include burners that connected Alan to the girls. Correct. It's a rumor going around and no one provides a source. The bullshittery becomes clear when you provide the source. Yeah, so there's this one. So like I said, I can tell that I don't have the bottom of it because this is where it talks about 1013. It's Sherry and Hillary's interview. And you can see that's the bottom of this screenshot right here. And there's something else here in this red spot that I could not get it to, I could not get rid of it to like figure out what's there. But what I can tell you is I don't have it because it's not the same as, it's like a CC. So it's like BB and then to CC, and I don't have that. So this is the only public one that I could find that I can't actually tell what it says. So if anybody knows how to remove that, let me know and I will send it to you. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. So, but Brandon is apparently, yeah, LLBBCCDD. Yeah. Betsy Blair, Carroll County Defense Diaries. I win. Freaking Travis. Unfortunately, yeah, he did. Unfortunately for his wife and daughter and his family. The leading software for forensics is Celebrate, yes. The software has an interface so you can see how it would come up on a phone and also what you don't see. For example, geolocation of phone internal. Okay. So you would go get another phone to be able to put that phone, to like make that phone that phone? Does that make sense? I'll have to do some research or find somebody who can break it down for me. Anybody in here knows all that stuff? Travis, you want to send me Celebrate stuff and teach me? I'm all for it. I thought they did not have any phone data for RA. Am I wrong about that? Can't remember where I heard that. No receipts. This became part of something. I know what you're talking about, Angel. At least I think I do. So in the report from Dan Doolin, they talk about how Richard Allen's phone did not have an IMEI number, but it did have the, what was it? The MEI, whatever, E number. It was just a different number. And back then, different phone carriers. So let's just say like Verizon, and I'm not going to tell you the right ones. Sleuthy might probably actually remember the right ones. It was like Verizon and T-Mobile used MEIE numbers, and like cellular one, and another company used IMEIs. And I don't remember which companies used which, but at some point after the crime occurred, all the companies went to using IMEI numbers. So at the time when he was interviewed, his phone was not, it was either a Verizon or a, like I said, Sleuth, you'll probably remember, AT&T. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Laundered Amber. There you go. Yeah. It was based on the carrier, essentially. So they could still extract data from his phones. It didn't matter. It depended on who the provider was. Okay, I looked on Facebook, and Dollar General in Delphi had a Facebook page established in October 2014. Has a pic of the new building. Well, so I know that the articles that I read about the Dollar General talks about they were getting funding for it in 2016. And they were hiring back in 2016. I don't think I saw anything for 2014. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like that's what I had found was they were hiring for the location in like 2016. And the article talks about the like getting funding and how it was approved to be built. So if you find something different, like, feel free. Like, yeah, let me know. Like I said, I just want to make sure we put out the right stuff. I can just tell you that building was not there. Yeah, the MEID. Thank you. Yeah, the MEID serves the same purpose as the IMEI, whatever the damn ones. I will get with you. T on the cell phone stuff. Make sure I'm tracking, and if we need to, we can ask a cell phone app. Perfect. But I think that we have to go back to the bottom line. As I said, there's nothing in the electronics that ties Richard Allen to the scene. So I don't know. There are definitely more Dollar Generals for sure. I know there's definitely one that was in Peru at the time, at least one. They cloned the phone bit for bit. Okay, Perkins, why would they need to go to Dollar General to get the phone? I guess I should show you guys the message that he's talking about that Sleuthy sent me. Let me find it really quick so that you guys can see what we're talking about, what he says. And I do have a live where I read through all of the Brandon Woodhouse conversations, so I probably brought it up there too. Okay, so this one is the Google preservation. I don't know if that will help you. So Brandon says, they did a subpoena on a Dollar General, bro, and afterwards they got a copy of the phone that was sold that they were looking for. Why, bro? Why? Why they want a copy? To switch SIMs? Okay, so Dollar General was in Delphi for many years before 2017, just not in that location. I'll have to figure out where it was then. Who made this shit up? Well, this is Brandon Woodhouse, Bob. This is Brandon Woodhouse who got the thumb drive map. But I will also add, let me just go back over here really quick because I'll show you guys this too, is that one of the very first things on here talks about Richard Allen's motorcycle. And in no way, shape, or form can I find Richard Allen owning a motorcycle. So I don't know the accuracy of this. We don't even know the date of this. If this was actually sent in December of 2022, I don't know. I don't know. This is, like I said, it's just here for the informational purposes. He didn't say Allen's phone. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Uncover. Hold on. My chat just skipped all over. There it is. What do you mean uncover exactly? I may be able to do it. Just what he's saying, like what he said in that screenshot there. go back over here to it. Like, why would they get a copy of the phone? So let's just say Brandon. Okay, so here. So, oh, bye, Dean. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let's just say that Brandon Woodhouse is saying this because it's on one of these index things that was sent to him, right? Because that's like the whole other part of the leak. So we're just going to say that he's reading this from that. Just for, we don't know that, but I just want to say it just so I can figure this out. So they did a subpoena on a Dollar General, bro. And afterwards, they got a copy of the phone that was sold that they were looking for. Why, bro? Why? Why they want a copy? I don't understand this comment. How do you get a subpoena for a copy of a phone when you don't have the phone? You need the phone to make a copy of what's on that phone. Correct. This is what I'm so confused about. And this kind of goes to what I'm the most interested in trying to research right now. It has to do with this geofencing, this quote unquote burner phone situation. They're saying there's nothing tying him to it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I don't understand what this would mean. So anybody who knows phones, they did a subpoena on a Dollar General. Afterwards, they got a copy of the phone that was sold that they were looking for. Hey, bro, can you buy me a phone card? I don't know. If anybody can make sense of it, please make sense of it. Hey, bro, can you buy me a phone card? It just kills me. It is. I don't even, that's why I'm like, you take any of this and just take it and leave it, do whatever you want with it. I'm not a tech person. I'm not a gun person. I'm not a tech person. I don't pretend to be either one. This is, so Shiraz, yeah, so you subpoena a copy of a blank unused phone because that's the state the phone would be in before it was sold and used. Oh, Shiraz, okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. Don't you dare, Steve. Don't you dare. Maybe you can help. Maybe you can help with this. I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. Let's say there is a burner phone that the phone is destroyed. So you want to take the SIM card from the phone that is destroyed, but you have to get the same phone to put the SIM card in so that you can figure out what's on the SIM card or what was on the phone, but the phone is actually destroyed. Would that make sense? Now I'm just trying to make sense of things that I don't even know if they even make sense. Okay, my phone's about to die and the charger's under my beautiful wife's pillow. I can't bother. Okay, Scott, thank you for being here. That's what I said. Now we're just trying to figure out shit that isn't, I don't even know if it is. I don't even know the relevance of it. Bob would say, stop talking about it. It doesn't have to do with the law. I'll tell you what phone I have and where I bought it. Go to the store and get one and fire it up and tell me what's on my phone. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Would you use the phrase copy? But I still have 600 of you here. I know you guys are awesome on a Saturday. I didn't actually think anybody would come and hang out. I thought maybe I'd have a couple people. I was like, most people are probably going to end up watching on the replay. Bruh, just know Woodhouse is, I know, 4 pits, I know. But that's why I'm saying, if we take it that he actually read something about this on one of these index things, what could it mean? And so we can actually figure that out versus, hey, Richard Allen bought a burner phone. And I'd rather know exactly what it means and understand what it means than just to and shit, maybe Richard Allen bought a burner phone. If Richard Allen bought a burner phone, then I would think that the defense wouldn't be saying there's nothing electronically connecting him to the scene. Unless maybe there was a burner phone and they needed a copy. Marcel. All right, we'll do some more research on it. I'll do some more research on it. If you guys have any insight, if anybody listening on the replay has any insight, please feel free to message me, email me. You know, I suck at it, but I'll do my best to try to get back to you. Those screenshots have timestamps. They could, but we don't have that. I don't want to go too far into this rabbit hole because I honestly don't understand enough about it. Like Steve said, it's just like it's confusing because I don't know enough. Sleuthy, that's a good point. Okay, makes sense to obtain for a full understanding of defaults, resets, and take to scene for signal tests. Ooh. See? Where were you 5 minutes ago? There's nothing to understand. I told you Bob would say that. Okay, you wouldn't even need another phone because you could download the information straight from the SIM card. I got you. Okay. Like I said, I'm just talking gibberish at this point because I don't understand it, and it is what it is. But I think that we finally on Saturday have finally finished covering everything that happened on Monday. I'm sure we will go back to it once the transcripts are out and we can take a look at what those have to say. And maybe, just maybe, somebody will have the contempt transcripts and we can figure out what the hell that has to say. We shall see. But I am going to wrap this up. I can't believe you guys all stuck in here for this long. This is incredible. Thank you guys so much for being here. I didn't realize that Saturday night would be so hopping. I thought, you know, maybe a few of the people who live in tomorrow might show up. You don't buy iPhones at Dollar General. Buy flip phones. True. It's true. Are they going to release the transcripts? As of right now, they have been ordered, apparently, but I would never be surprised if she's just like, no, they can't have them. Take them back. The sketches used to give me headaches, and you outdid the sketches. That's what I'm here for, Steve. Welcome. We in it to the finish. Thank you. All right. I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be back on Monday. And who knows what Monday will bring. What other little rabbit holes we can find. Or just what documents. Oh, you know what? Shit, I didn't even get to go over the damn document. Dang it. All right, well, at least we'll have that document. It's the defense's response to... Dang it, we didn't go over that. Nancy, I'm glad you found the channel too. I heard that Rick Allen was abducted by aliens and they cloned his burner phone and it had video of Brad Holder taking a shit in Patrick Westfall's mouth. That's going to be the title of somebody's live tomorrow. I put money on it. Somebody's live tomorrow is going to say, hey, there's video of Richard Allen being abducted. Go get some rest. Go enjoy your rest of your weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you all for being here. I am extremely humbled that you guys take the time to hang out with me and listen to anything I have to say, really. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to head out. Good night, everybody.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. Where it stops, no one knows. headed into the unknown.